At Gamescom, we're showing Guild Wars 2 hands-on for the first time. You're asking about dynamic events. Dynamic events is a revolution of thought that's really come about when we've really been frustrated with your ordinary quest chains. We're frustrated with the clicking on an NPC and being bombarded with a wall of text. We're throwing that aside. Our dynamic event system is about viscerally showing you a living, breathing world. You see what's going on in the world. I see over the hill smoke rising. I run to the top of the hill. I look down, I go, oh my gosh, there's centaurs that are attacking a garrison. I can choose as a player to run down and join into that event and defend that garrison. If we're successful in defending that garrison, another event will chain on that. So there are actual chaining things that can happen where things can essentially branch out to the left or the right based upon how we choose to interact. Our dynamic events are happening in the persistent world, and there are some places where if it gets to a certain point, it's gonna stay in that state until players come along and do something about it. We show here at Gamescom, we showed Steel Eye Span, a Char Fortress, where sometimes we go and in the demo we're taking a look at that Char Fortress and it's been overrun by dragon minions. Okay, they've overrun it. It's going to be in that state until players come along and eradicate it. Kill those guys and essentially get them to back out. And once we've taken it back, that fortress is now it belongs to us. It's our front lines. Well, I'll tell you one core thing that really ties into what we've been talking about. So it starts with that foundation. You mentioned this is in character creation. You are starting to go through a number of biographical questions that create your personal biography. That's the foundation, that's the start. Through that, you'll already have, based upon decisions you make versus decisions that some of your friends may make, you'll see different things. You will have a different personal story that comes from that. Of course, don't forget that every race also will have even different biographical questions that come up. Every race will have different chains that come along that. Okay, now you venture out into the world. You're going through your personal story. You're in the middle of the world and going through dynamic events. You will do things that, for example, you'll have choices in front of you that deal with life and death, that are moral choices, that how you influence somebody. And these will do things like shape your personality. They also, of course, will have outcomes that will directly impact your personal story. So when you go back and you continue to follow your personal storyline, you will see and experience something that is based upon the decisions that you made. At its core, though, again, in everything that you deal with these dynamic events and personal story, that is PvE to the core. And so don't get me wrong, we have passionate PvP fans, and we're going to make them very happy with Guild Wars 2 as well. We'll have two basic kinds of PvP in the game. There's a competitive PvP that's essentially team-based, where everybody comes into it. You bring your character into it, but you're balanced out, so everybody's on a level playing field, and you go at it that way. It's skill versus skill. Then there's also world PvP. And that is essentially now your server going up against two other servers, and over a series of, say, a week, battling it out, having different sieges going on, different places where you take your character as your character is situated, whether it's level 1 or level 80, and joining into this epic battle with the other servers. You're talking combat. I mean, that's another place where, again, innovation and focus to make combat a visceral experience, something that your positioning matters. You saw in the demo, you saw dodging occur, getting out of the way of arrows, getting out of the way of different things going on. Yes, for a lot of a caster, a spellcaster, a lot of their spells they are able to cast while moving, and that also just plays into, again, you have control over it. You have visually impressive skills that you're casting all the time. I just know that I'm a big MMORPG fan. I know where things have lacked, and things lack when all I'm doing is pressing the one skill over and over again, and there's not a dynamicism to that. There's not a dynamic that's making me think, that's making me control down to pinpoints. That's really important to me, to be able to have that visceral feel to everything. Have striking blows where, again, that impact, even the sound that comes out of the game, where you land that blow and it's you just hear it. You can even hear the bass when I cast a spell that lands a large explosion.
This'll be fun.
Guild Wars 2 will be out on PC as soon as we're ready with it. This is a hugely ambitious project. Guild Wars 2 is AAA MMO where we're gonna, we're not gonna hold anything back on it. We're gonna make it the best MMO that's ever been released. So we ask our fans to be a little patient with us, and we're gonna do right by everybody.